seconds away on Studio 5.
I got myself a show about the internet. I'm not even sure what that is yet.
As the Duck Dynasty chapter ends, we're in New York Central Park with Duck Commander CEO Willie Robertson.
So what's next? You've got this book out, we're talking about it, but what's next? What's next for your
next?
family, for you?
Yeah, it'll be nice at some point to slow down a little bit.
Plus,
everything's gonna be fun. What if she says, why isn't the relationship expert in a relationship? Huh? Yeah, fix your face.
TV heartthrob Shemar Moore and comedian Bill Bellamy are here, talking teaming up and bouncing back.
We're not doing it.
How come?
Because we don't like you.
And then,
I don't care if you listen or if you shout.
a special Studio 5 Sessions performance with Adam Cates in Studio 5, starting now. And welcome to Studio 5. As you see, we have a fun-filled show for you. And first on the day's agenda is a look at what's new and now in the world of uplifting entertainment. Let's run down your top 5 from Studio 5. At number 5.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Fuller House is back for season 2 on Netflix as of December 9th.
And in this house, with this family,
It's always open!
you never really know who's gonna walk through that front door.
Hey, my people!
And just in time at this house,
The creator of the Full House series, Jeff Franklin, is the new owner, and he brought part of the cast to San Francisco to kick off the next season of the Netflix revival, Fuller House.
according to The Hollywood Reporter, Jeff Franklin paid a little more than $4 million for it.
It's become iconic, and I understand that 500 people a day stop by here.
At number 4,
This year marks the 70th anniversary of the timeless Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life.
Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
a young Jimmy Hawkins played the role of Tommy opposite Jimmy Stewart.
What do you remember most about Mr. Stewart?
He seemed like a nice man at the time, but it was an actor doing a scene. Same way with Donna Reed.
Hallelujah!
Hello. George. George, darling, where are you? George, darling, where are you? Oh, George.
Celebrating 70 years, Paramount has released a platinum anniversary edition of the famous Frank Capra film.
Someday in Christmas, we'll see a land.
A standing ovation for Stevie Wonder comes in at number 3, but not for music.
I am just one example of someone who is able differently, and yet I beat the odds.
He addressed the United Nations on the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Imagine if others like me were given the opportunity to function at their full potential.
Where's Missy?
Missy!
Where's Missy? Sorry, Mac, they haven't seen her.
Missy!
A first look at The Shack, starring Sam Worthington, and based on William Paul Young's 2007 New York Times best-selling novel. The story follows the spiritual journey of a man who suffers severe loss.
Mackenzie Allen Phillips. I've been looking forward to this.
Do I know you?
Not very well, but we can work on that.
Oscar winner Octavia Spencer plays the role of God in the film, which also stars Tim McGraw. Due out in March, this is already being called one of 2017's most emotional and wrenching cinematic releases. Now, number 1.
Kimberly really likes the farmhouse feel.
More than 80,000 Christians have signed petitions urging HGTV to stand behind Chip and Joanna Gaines and their wildly popular Fixer Upper series. The couple has faced heat from the LGBT community for attending a church that supports the Christian and biblical definition of marriage.
Jojo, watch this.
The couple has not publicly or directly addressed the controversy, but Chip tweeted a call for fans to respect the author of the BuzzFeed article that started it all. In another tweet, he said, "In times of trouble, you'll find the Gaines family at church." And those are your top 5 this week. Fans of Duck Dynasty are enjoying its final season, but the end of the hit reality series doesn't mean the end of the spotlight on the always colorful Robertson clan. Duck Commander CEO Willie Robertson is sitting down for this week's Studio 5 interview and to look at what's next for the family.
Meet the Robertson clan. They turned duck calls into a multi-million-dollar empire. But running a family business is tough when the family just wants to run wild.
Millions fell in love with the Robertsons when they began sharing the family business and their daily life on television.
Willie, are you as excited as I am about your reunion this weekend?
Reunion? Willie, do I have to remind you how much you've changed since high school?
He still looks the same.
Now, after breaking cable ratings records, sometimes averaging more than 11 million viewers, Duck Dynasty is coming to an end.
It's been over 5 years we've been filming the show, which is on television. It's a lifetime. There's always something going on, and so we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm not a big goal guy. I don't try to set my 5-year plan. No, not at all. Well, you think about it like this. 5 years ago, if someone would ask me what my goal was, I probably would have been way short of what was going to happen. And so I don't want to limit myself or limit God or anything. It'll be nice at some point to slow down a little bit and kind of enjoy some of the things that we've done.
That Willie Robertson slowdown will have to wait. The husband, father, and CEO has a new show with the family's famous uncle, Cy.
I got myself a show about the internet. I'm not even sure what that is yet.
It's called Going Viral, and Willie's the show's sidekick. Plus, he's written a new book, The American Fisherman, How Our Nation's Anglers Founded, Fed, Financed, and Forever Shaped the USA.
In reading, you said that fishing is how parents and children discover what they're made of together.
Right.
How so?
I think with fishing, you can learn a lot about yourself and about others. You learn patience and you learn how to, stick with it. You can't see what exactly you're going after, and so I think we learn a lot about ourselves, especially nowadays. Just the world kind of really slows down.
Is Dad still the best fisherman you know?
Probably so. Probably so. I mean, he knows, he's probably forgotten more about fishing than the rest of us, so we've even learned. But yeah, he could fish for really anything.
And your dad took your son and the girl he was dating.
Actually, one of my favorite episodes of Duck Dynasty.
You got old Papaw here being your chaperone. What's your opinion on that?
Well,
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Now, Jean-Luc, never touch her below the neck until you sign the dotted line. That's being a gentleman about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. That helps.
So he starts talking about all these sexually transmitted diseases, and so that's his dating advice. Now, what's funny was I heard the same speech when I was 15.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, and I got so tickled, and so I went to my father, and I said, Dad, I saw the episode where you were giving the advice, and I'm laughing, and Dad said, I wasn't being funny. I said, I know, that's what's so funny about it, because you didn't know. But, yeah, he kind of had the shock therapy with all of us, and it's still going.
When you're young, all you hear everybody, on television and the internet, sex, oh, what are we going to do with ourselves? Don't even entertain that thought.
Fishing anchors the Robertson family. And in writing his book, Willie learned how it also anchors American history. George Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, George H.W. Bush, and even George W. Bush were all avid fishermen.
We talk about the relationship of presidents and fishing. We now have a new president who you were a big supporter of.
Right.
You're going to take Donald Trump fishing?
I need to get him out fishing. He's in a good spot. I'm already eyeballing Camp David. Because that'd be a cool deal.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe, I haven't asked for many favors yet. So maybe my favor would be to take him out at Camp David, and it would be neat, right? Where all these presidents have been, and just to be there. And his son, Donald Trump Jr., he and I have hunted together. In fact, he was at the house last year. And we hunted together, and so he's a big outdoorsman and likes to fish. And so I don't know that Mr. Trump is a big fisherman, but I'm sure he probably has some. But I'd love to be able to take him out and do some sort of fishing.
And you feel closer to God when you fish?
I do. I do.
And you can watch Willie's new show Going Cyro right now, and his book, The American Fisherman, is available wherever books are sold. Still ahead on Studio 5.
Heal my soul again, make me whole again, there you go.
Sitting down with singer and songwriter Adam Cates for the story behind his music.
This thing tried to destroy my life, and look what God has done.
And welcome back to Studio 5, where our producers enjoy keeping an eye and an ear on up-and-coming talent. And our next guest, Adam Cates, is certainly one to watch. The singer and songwriter has just released a new EP, and his personal story is just as inspiring as his music. You are a husband, a father of 4, and a pastor.
Yeah, totally. So my wife and I planted Big House Church about 8 years ago in my parents' living room, and they literally have a big old brick house in historic Norfolk, and so we just thought, we'll call it Big House. And we started with just, maybe 30 people, and over the past 8 years, it's grown to about 400 people. The overriding heart behind Big House is to encounter him, to worship him. I mean, we get little glimpses into heaven throughout Scripture, and they're always singing, and they're always bowing, and they're always shouting out. They're so filled with revelation of the immensity of the love of God that the only response is just unabashed, raw, passionate worship, and that's just something that's just been deep down in my heart since I can remember, since I learned to play the guitar at 14 years old.
Your heart and passion at one point was to do music more than pastor.
Yeah, I started out by traveling and leading worship. King David was really always a huge example for me as a man who could be a king and administrate an entire nation and a government and still write songs and still be the leading psalmist and songwriter of his generation. And so I really feel a strong pull to do both. To be a pastor, to lead the local church, to teach and preach the Word of God, and to be a worshiper first and foremost.
So the new project is called Troubadour.
Troubadour.
Okay, and the story behind that?
So the Troubadours were these medieval poet musicians. Literally, they would compose and sing love songs specifically for the nobility and royalty. And being a Jesus lover, I was like, he's like the royalist of royals. I want to write love songs, for him.
So these 5 songs are love songs.
They really are. I mean, they're songs about some of them about pain and loss. They're about the journey. They're about the process of seeing the goodness of God toward us in all aspects of our life.
Come on, all you singers, let's sing out. I don't care if you whisper or if you shout. Show me what this life is all about. Show me there's still beauty when things don't turn out.
I had a friend call me this week. He and his wife just lost their baby to a miscarriage, and they were heartbroken. And he just said, I've been listening to this song, There You Go Again. And it's just healing my heart. God's showing me there's beauty in this process, even though this pregnancy didn't turn out like they were hoping.
There you go again, heal my soul again, make me whole again, there you go.
You've gone through a lot of personal pain to get where you are.
Absolutely, and I would never sit here and feel sorry for myself because some people's stories are unbelievably horrific compared to mine. But I think every person does. Scripture says that suffering is actually a tool that the Lord uses, and it says that it produces perseverance. And if you persevere, it forms character. And so if I could just tell a story and say, hey, this thing tried to destroy my life, and look what God has done. He's brought freedom. He's restored the joy of my childhood to me. Then I'm not going to be silent, and I'm not going to let shame intimidate me to not being able to bless and encourage other people by saying, listen, Jesus Christ is bigger than the greatest trauma in your life. Just invite him into the painful places. He's going to sing a new song over you and redefine you.
There you go, healing
Adam's EP, Troubadour, is available now. Also, be sure to check out Studio 5 online and on social media for his Studio 5 Sessions performance. Up next on Studio 5.
I've seen you guys on TV together. If you like him, please be his girlfriend. He needs one.
You know I'm standing right here. I can hear you.
Actor Shemar Moore and comedian Bill Bellamy are back for a big screen reunion in The Bounce Back.
Her? Really? Her?
Who's that?
That's my little angel.
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
I'm sorry about that.
The producers of Entertainment Tonight called. They want you on the show with her.
It's kind of a big deal.
We're not doing it.
How come?
Because we don't like you.
He doesn't mean that.
Yes, I do. Don't lie.
And those are just a few scenes from the new romantic comedy, The Bounce Back, and it stars television heartthrob Shemar Moore and comedian Bill Bellamy. They're joining us right here in Studio 5 to talk about what really amounts to a relationship story. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
What's up, Efren? Thanks for having us. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Shemar, I want to start with you first. So you leave Criminal Minds, you have a production company. Why is this the first story that you launch out into the deep with?
There was no real. It kind of just happened. You put an idea out there. I've been so blessed to do what I've been doing for 24 years in front of the camera. Started out in the soaps with Young and the Restless, and then I've been kicking down doors for 11 years as Derek Morgan on Criminal Minds, and I like the idea of producing. Just to having some control and in the content, having some say in the stories you get to tell. And this was just a fun learning experience for me. And I just found a little script that I'd been aware of for a few years. It's just a fun, simple, good time. And so from going from badass Derek Morgan kicking down doors, I just wanted to show a little lighter side and have some fun. And so I liked the script. I believed in the script. I knew I had some friends. I went to Bill Bellamy. And we met doing The Brothers, and I knew he was going to bring the funny to life. And I was like, you know what? Let's just give people a feel good, give them something to laugh about. And it's perfect timing with the holidays. And it's just a sweet, fun look at love and falling out of love and having the courage and faith to fall back in love. This just makes you believe in that tingling, feel good. When you get
the little butterflies, Efren?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, I've had them for a little bit.
You know the little one right there? The one that twinkle right there.
We all need that. Now, I know that
we all need them little things. Right?
You got it. You guys have had a lot of fan support for this film, and you're calling on fans to donate to the Children's Miracle Network. What's the story behind that?
Naja Alea, the little beautiful girl on the poster behind me. I get to play a dad, which is so cool. I'm trying to be the cool dad who always ends up being the corny dad. And the little girl, her name is Naja Alea, and she when we shot the movie, she was 13 years old. So talented, so beautiful. First movie ever, but you would never know it. But here we are 2 years later, and she's been diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it's sad, and it's daunting, and it's overwhelming, but it's turned into a movement, and it's turned into this inspirational, powerful movement. And she's doing well. She's going through the process. She's going through chemo and radiation. She's lost her little curly cues, but she's wearing these cute little head wraps. She's still got her funky little style, big smile on her face. She's got so much fire, so much will. And from speaking to her mother, from what the doctors say, she's in the 85 percentile of being able to beat this. But by trying to help her, we became aware of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And so Bill and I have been running around the country getting to meet these phenomenal kids, that are in these tough situations. They're literally fighting for their lives. But what's beautiful is they're fighting. And they're so spirited, and they're happy and talented, and they believe they're going to be all right. And it's so inspiring to us and humbling to us. So what we're trying to do with our platform, with our celebrity, with this movie, is just raise awareness and raise money so that they get all the proper treatment they can possibly have, so they can walk out those hospitals to the life that they deserve. So it's a fun movie. You're going to have a good time, but by supporting this movie, you're really helping these kids. And Bounce Back's going to come and go, and we're going to keep fighting for these kids.
We're going to keep helping the kids.
I want to see in my mother's lifetime, I want to be able to look my mother in the eye and say there's a cure for multiple sclerosis. And in my lifetime, I want to see a cure for cancer so these kids don't have to go through this.
I love it. Good to see you both back together again, Shemar Moore and Bill Bellamy.
Man.
Stars of the Bounce Back
Boys.
In theaters December 9th. The Bounce Back Boys.
December 9th, baby.
You got it. Gentlemen, thank you. And still to come.
Love always sees you even when you're not looking.
The wisdom behind this soulful voice. Leon Timbo has this show's final word.
Time flies here in Studio 5, and we are already hard at work on next week's episode. Let's take a look at what we're working on.
Even though I engaged in everything they engaged in, it didn't sit well with me.
Gene Thornton talks about his gospel transformation from drug rapper to Christ follower.
For a moment, it seemed fun. But in 2009, knock, 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 it was the devil. And he was coming for his stuff back.
And a look at The End of Malice, a documentary telling his story produced by nonprofit organization I Am Second.
I wanted to be able to communicate and relate through the power of story and hopefully change the paradigm of those that are trapped in destructive lifestyles.
That's a story from next week's rundown. As for today, I'm giving the final word to soulful singer and songwriter Leon Timbo. He has a message for you to consider when you face people who don't like you or those who despise the good you're trying to do.
Love always sees you even when you're not looking. And oh, love comes through when faith needs healing.
Church give you a hard time about singing love songs? And
not anymore. I think I've outgrown my haters.
I like that.
You know, my dad's pastor was 85 years old, and he asked his pastor, he said, why is it that nobody hates you? Why is it that nobody disdains you? He said, I've outlived them all. And I will never miss a moment, and that makes us one forever.
So you keep doing what you're called to do, and you will outgrow or possibly outlive your haters. That's a good word, and the final word for this edition of Studio 5. Until next time, be sure to reach out and touch me at @FromGraham on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. And then come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye.